Hello guys, hope you all are doing well. So today I'm bringing you the video on advanced Excel assessment questions. This was the assessment that I had to go through when I was attending the interview for the position of data analyst at Arete company. It's a cybersecurity company. So this is going to be a pretty useful resource for someone who's looking for a set of questions to practice Excel. And I promise this video is going to be for beginners, a very beginner friendly video where I'm going to walk you through every solution and every part of the formula taking baby steps. So without much ado, let's get started. So, guys, these are the set of 10 questions that were given, and from that, there were special instructions given that all the work should be based on formulas and any kind of manual work or results are not considered. So, let's hop on to the first question. So, the first question was to write any 10 formulas that were used mostly and explain how it functions along with one or two use cases. So, coming to the solution part. These were the formulas that I had mentioned. So I had taken up sum, average, VLOOKUP, and EDATE, concatenate, if, unique, SUMIF, mid, and match. So the point was I was trying to take different kind of functions such as date functions and also the text functions such as concatenate, and basically used sum function, SUMIF function, which were most common and important. And to write down the use cases, we can say that, for instance, sum is to calculate sum of sales, and we look up to look up for sales corresponding to the value of product. So these were a couple of examples that were given, and you can have a look at it. So let's hop on to the next question. So this question was convert the data given in the date format, which is in MMDDYY, using formula or any other method. So this is basically the data given, each of which is in a different format, and we need to convert it into the date format, which is MMDDYY. So coming to the solution. So one particular method would be the format cells and change the format to date from here in. So we select date. So this is one of the method without formulae, but the main formulae that are used in these cases were left, date, text, and date value. So in the first case, uh, this was a complete general form. So in this, I had taken the text of date formula, and in date we mention year, month, and day, and extracting from this string the right part, left, and mid, and this is converted to mmddyy, and this was the function used. So what text does is text takes the date value and it converts into the desired format. So here we are mentioning mmddyy format. So that's what we are doing in the rest of the cases. So there was one error which I couldn't figure out because this is in a different format. So do let me know your ideas if you have any in this case. Let's take this question wherein it is said frame a sentence with formatting. So as we can see, the data, each word is in a cell and there are extra spaces, unwanted commas and semicolons. So we need to frame the sentence with formatting. For that, the solution goes as trim, substitute, text join, and this is the solution. So here we are first using the text join function. So what text join does, we just want to join all the words to form a sentence. So in text join, let me show you the explanation of the function. The text join function in Excel. So as we can see the overview, it combines text from multiple ranges, including a specified delimiter between each value. So it is we are going to give it the syntax of, let's look at the syntax of this. So it is text join delimiter, and we need to ignore this is for a logical value that determines whether the empty cells should be included in the result or not. So it is given either true or false. If true, the empty cells are ignored, and then we have the text to be joined. So in a similar fashion, what we have done is we have used the text join with the delimiter being space, and we have given true. That is, we have to include any empty cells, and then we have selected the range as B6 to G6, and coming to this formula, we have got the sentence. So now that we have got the sentence combining all the words in different cells, our next job is to substitute. So we wanted to remove the unwanted commas. So for this, we are using the substitute function. So let's go and check the substitute function format. So the substitute function in Excel is replacing the specific text substring within a cell with another specific text. So here we are having the substitute, and the syntax goes as text, old text, new text. So the syntax of substitute goes as text, old text, new text, and instance number. So herein the text refers to the cell reference containing our text, and the text we want to replace, and the new text which should go into that place. So an instance number is just the number of occurrences of the old text that you want to replace. So in our function, if we see, we have the substitute, and this is the previous result. So to get this sentence and post that, we are using the substitute function, and we do not want an unwanted comma, so we are substituting the comma, that's the old text in the sentence, with nothing. So that's how it works, and voila, we have removed the unwanted comma. And the next step, so here in we want to add the full stop to make every sentence with the proper formatting, grammatically correct. So we are adding the full stop using ampersand and dot. So basically this ampersand and in double quotes we are specifying the full stop, so this is same as the concatenate. So we can check it that the ampersand and calculation operator lets you join text items without having to use a function. Suppose A1 and B1 is the same as concatenation of A1 and B1 cells text. So this is about it. And going to the next step, what we are doing is we are now going to trim it. So we are using the trim function. So let's go and check the trim function. The trim function in Excel removes unnecessary spaces from the text, leaving only single spaces between the word. So here the trim off, and the syntax goes as trim of text. So the text this trim function would remove the leading spaces, trailing spaces, and also the multiple spaces between the words, and leave only single spaces between the words. So this is what we are intending for, and our final formatted sentences. So right here, after using the trim in the result of all this, so the text join result was this, and to this result we had substituted the comma with the and remove the comma with nothing, and remove the comma, and then we have used the ampersand, added the full stop, and concatenated the full stop, and this is our final result post trimming. So this is basically the formula, and which can be copied down, so that this the range changes from B6 to G6 to B7 to G7, and so on. So this was the solution for this question. Now, the next question goes as, find the number of occurrences of the term EST in the given data. So we have a set of data with which has certain words, and all the words have different forms of EST. So here EST is instant time, and here we have best buddy. So we need to find the number of occurrences of the term EST. It could be in any form. So over here E is capital and it's EST, which has a different context. Here there is best buddy, but EST in the word best. So EST in the word best, and fast est 10 a.m. EST, and test. So we have specific words, and they are containing EST at different places. So I want you to think for a minute and we are going to hop on to the solution. Right, guys. So first, let's understand the asterisk character in Excel, which is a wildcard character. So that represents any number of characters, including zero, within a text string. So the use of it is in the criteria of filters to find the rows containing specific text. So, for example, we can use this wildcard character ch star. So, which means that it matches any word starting with ch. So, ch star. This asterisk indicates any ch is there in there, and the rest of the words follow. So everything starts with ch and then blah blah blah. So, and in this way, this starts with blah 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 and ends ch, like march, inch, fetch. And herein, when we add asterisk to the both sides of the word, which means the ch can lie anywhere. It could be blah 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 ch blah blah blah. And for example, we have headache. So this is in starting, and e is at the end, and ch is somewhere in the middle. So this is how we can use the asterisk character. And in our question now, how it pertains to our question is, we are using the function countif. So we need to find the number of occurrences. For that number, it's countif, and then we have this The coming to the syntax of countif. Function in Excel is a function that counts the number of cells within a specified range that meet a certain criteria. So we can say the syntax goes as countif, range, and criteria. So here our criteria is to find the EST in the specific word. So we are taking the countif function and each cell as the reference and whether it contains EST anywhere in between the word. So such format we are getting the if it's one, if yes, there is one EST in the word. So in all the words there is only one EST. We can see test, lowest, and lowest range. So we do not have more than one EST in any word. And if you want a total of all the ESTs, you can just do it as countif asterisk est into the est. All right, so the next question is format the given words. This is a pretty straightforward question. So as we can see, we have data, which is a mix of the capital letters and small letters in a word. So we have to get it into a proper formatting. For this, we have a function called as proper in Excel. So let us see the format of this function. Right. So proper function in Excel capitalizes the first letter of each word of the text string and converts all other letters to the lowercase. So we can apply the formula as proper of A2 or the cell in which you want the text to get formatted. So in similar manner, in our solution, we have just typed in the function proper and given the reference as this cell, and this formula is dragged down to obtain the results of the entire data set. The next question is indicate which all cells contain uppercase letters. So we can see that the data has a mix of both uppercase letters and lowercase letters, and few words have entirely uppercase letters, and few words have the mix of both, and few have the entire lowercase letters. So to tackle with this problem, the solution is to use the exact function. So now in the question, when we say we want all the cells containing uppercase letters, which means we do not want the cells which contain all lowercase letters, right? So for that, we have a formula called exact, and let us see the format. So coming to the syntax of this function and about this function. The exact function in Excel is a text function that compares two strings and returns true if they are identical and false otherwise. So this is a specific case sensitive function. So it will treat uppercase as uppercase and lowercase as lowercase. And the syntax goes as exact text1 and text2, whereas text1 and text2 are the two string outputs that are being compared. And we'll have certain examples. So looking at a few examples, we are having exact. Here we have apple and apple, so it returns true. So when any of one single letter case is a mismatch, it returns false. As in here, the A is capital, here it's small, so it is a false. And here in the word is same, but here there is an extra word along with this, so the text string is not equal, so it is not exact, so it returns false, and it only returns true when both are exact. So using this function over here, this is a pretty beautiful question of this function. So we can just compare the lower of the text reference B6 with the B6 and the text in B6, and if it returns exact is of lower of B6 is equal to B6, which means all the letters are of lowercase, then it returns true. And we do not want all lowercase, we want those cells containing at least one uppercase letter. So this has to be then we enclose this in not, so it is not of the function. So in this case, if it returns this is gonna return false. Okay, so not of false is true. So in similar manner, for all the different data, this is the result. So this solution includes not of exact to be considered, and lower. So not, exact, and lower are the three functions that are being used in this formula. So coming to if we just for case of the practice, if we just tweak the question a bit and say the data containing all uppercase letters, in such case we can solve it just by exact function comparing the data with upper of data, and if all the letters are uppercase, then we need only two items to return true over here. This is the medium and fight to win. So that's exactly the case when we implement this formula. So hopping on to the next question, it says calculate and fill the results table with total hours of project manager and team manager combination. So in our data set, we have the project manager, team manager, associate, and time spent in hours. And as we can see, we have multiple records of the same project manager as Robert, and has been working with different team managers such as Lakshman, Prashant, Krishna, and coming to the combination. So as well, they have different associates with them. So coming to the combination, we can see there are repeating records of Robert and Lakshman over here, and then we have Robert and Lakshman again working, but this time with Nagar and Preeti for 6.2 hours. So we need to calculate the total time taken. So in this manner, we have to add up all the time amounting to the total time. For this, as we can see, the question, it says project manager and team manager combination. So this itself indicates that this is a question of multiple criteria. So we need the total hours, that is the summation, and we have the multiple criteria, which is a combination of criteria of project manager and team manager. And for this, the function to be used for the solution is SUMIF. So let's check the syntax of this function. The SUMIF function in Excel sums values within a range that meet multiple criteria. It's more powerful than SUMIF. So here we need to use SUMIFs with a S in it, since we have the combination of criteria. And it allows you to define multiple criteria for a single range that has to be summed. So this is the basic syntax, wherein we have the sum range, criteria range 1, and what's the criteria that has to be matched to this criteria range, and then we have the criteria range 2, and what's the criteria that has to be matched to this criteria range. So in this manner, we can create as many criteria as needed by adding more criteria range and criteria pair. So each criterion must be true to be summed up. This is what we exactly want in our question. So going back to the solution, so this is how it is implemented. So we are using some ifs function with the sum range being time spent in hours, and this is the sum range, and we do not want it to change. That's the reason we are using absolute reference for the sum range and also for the criteria ranges. And the criteria range goes as the project for project manager, it is B8 to B58, and for and I8 is the criteria which has to be matched to the criteria range. So herein we have the project manager Robert name, which has to be matched to this particular column in our data set. So this is why we use this is the criteria range and this is the criteria. And again, this is the criteria range for team manager, and the team manager reference cell is here, which is the criteria. So this is how we do, and we do not want these criteria ranges and the sum range to change, which remains the set of our original data set. So we use the absolute reference in here, and this I8 J8 in the next row becomes I9 J9, and so on for each of the criterias. And hence we get the total hours as 464. So this was the solution. All right, so one homework for you guys is the questions 3 and 4. You can try out the questions 3 and 4 by yourself. So I'll give you a small hint over here that the solution includes the usage of right, left, and mid functions, and a combination of these would give you the results dividing the data into the respective columns. So do solve these questions, and thank you for watching the video.